Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the CGCB podcast. And today we're finally going to take a look at the third letter in CGCB, which is cigars. So I know we haven't touched a lot on that. Our main focus lately has been guns and cars, and that's mainly because of what we got going on right now and the projects that we've got going on. Like he's got his mini truck, I've got my bike, and the precision rifle that I've been building. So I figured today we touch on a little bit on the cigar side of things, and then we'll start touching on some booze too, but not in this episode. So what I thought I'd talk to you guys today about would be humidor care and how to store your cigars. So a lot of people don't actually get into cigars the way me and John have. Like most people, like they'll see them at or they'll get one at an event or some kind of celebration. They'll smoke them there, and they'll never go too far beyond that. But it's kind of turned into a hobby for us. So we both have humidors. We both smoke pretty regularly. Now we're a little picky about ours because, well, I don't want to say picky because we have our favorites, but there's also a lot of different kinds of cigars out there. Like you have your very mild ones with the light colored wrappers, and they get progressively darker and heavier. And John tends to stick more towards your medium and lighter bodied cigars, and I do the medium to heavy, but pretty much a full Maduro on some of them. But we do like to keep several on hand. However, I've been slacking. I've got one in here right now that I'm saving for my brother, but I don't really have any of mine. And it's about time to re-up the humidifying solution for it. So I figured I'd take you through the process and basically the basics of upkeep with the humidor. So this one is made by Mantello Cigars. It's just a basic like desk-sized. Well, it's not as big as this, but it's like desktop-sized humidor. It'll hold about a box of cigars. I don't hold nowhere near that much, and I hold maybe 10, 15 at most at a time. This one's got a glass top, and it's got a hygrometer right here on the front. I never really calibrated that. I just left it there. I don't use that one to identify my humidity. But so when I bought it, it came with this, the hygrometer, and this thing right here, which is supposed to be a humidifier pad. So basically what you do is you take distilled water, what's it called, propylene glycol, or what I have here, which I'll get into this in a minute, which is a 50-50 premix solution. And you just put it in here, and it would keep, or it's supposed to keep the humidity up inside the humidor. I just kind of got rid of that, and I went with another solution. So what I've got here for that is I've got these things. These are made by humi-care. It's called their black ice humidifier. What it is you get a jar, and it's got four of these, and they're filled with like these little gel balls. So what you do is, if I can do it real quick, you should pop these out. There we go. Take your distilled water or your solution like I got here. Just want to fill up about, looks like I'm trying to get out, about a quarter of the way. About a quarter of the way. Put this back on, and then these gel balls in here will actually absorb it and then release it over time. And these will last you about a week and a half, 2 weeks at the most before they need another refill. Now I've only got 3 in here because I dropped one of them and actually broke it. But that's a whole other story on its own. But anyway, so I ended up buying a digital hygrometer instead of using the one on the humidor. This one actually has a thermometer on it too, so I can keep track of my temperature, make sure it's not getting too hot, too cold, and make sure that my humidity is staying about where it needs to be. So the general rule of thumb on this is you want to keep it about 70 degrees Fahrenheit and about 70% humidity, so the cigars will last. If it's like warm and humid on the inside, let's say about 80% plus, and you're running about 75, 80 degrees, what'll happen is you'll start seeing spots of mold growing on your cigars, and that once that starts happening, as long as you keep them small and you catch it before that starts getting into a big problem, usually not that big of a deal. But if not, it could totally ruin all the cigars in the box, and then you've got a couple $100 just tossed down the drain. Where on the inverse of that, if you keep it very dry in here, like let's say 65% humidity or below, they'll start drying out. And the leaves will actually start. They'll start turning the tobacco leaves inside the cigar's made of will actually start turning like leaves on the ground and fall, where they're real crunchy and nasty, and they don't smoke very well. I mean, same when it's too humid. So yeah, for me, I like it right around 72-73% humidity, and right around the same with temperature, about 72-73 degrees. And to me, that makes it's just right there. They're easy to smoke. They're easy to light. Good flavor. So that's how I do it. But anyway, so I just showed you this. So what this is also made by humi-care. They call this cigar juice. It's a propylene glycol and distilled water mix. It's a 50-50 solution, so it's pre-mixed. You don't have to do any fancy chemistry on your own or anything like that. You just buy it, shove it in. I use this to season the humidor with, which is something that you have to do occasionally, and you definitely have to do it when you first get it. And that's basically like putting it, not quite soaking a rag, but dampening a rag and kind of rubbing around the inside, getting the wood on the inside of the humidor to absorb it. That way, when you refill your humidification device, the wood doesn't just soak it all up and then just dry out the air. Because the cigars will do that enough on their own. You don't need the wood doing that for you either. So what you do is you just wet the inside of it. You don't want it like so wet that the wood starts turning soggy, and you start seeing like your cigar juice or your water just running on the sides. And like you don't want it to work. You can touch it and it'll start physically wetting your fingers. You just want it like slightly damp in there to keep everything nice and regulated. So I mean that process took me about 5 or 6 days to do the first seasoning on, to get it to hold the humidity that I wanted it to. If it ever gets too humid, what I'll do is I'll pull it out of the cubby that I usually keep it in, and I'll leave the lid open for a couple hours, shut it for another couple hours, check it, see if it's gone down to where I need it, or if not, open it back up again. And yeah, just keep that to kind of regulate the humidity back to where it needs to be, and then I'll put it away. So yeah, that's very, very quick and dirty basics on your humidor upkeep. It's always nice to have a full one, because then you can go in and pick and choose which one you want to smoke that day. Or if you're like me, you stick to like 2 different ones that you keep in there. But yeah, so that's essentially how that works. If you're thinking about getting into starting to have your own humidor and keeping cigars around the house, this would be a good starter set to go with. You can find these humidors on Amazon. I think last time I looked at them, they're like $44 on sale. I mean, retail price on them is about $60, but it's a good starter thing. I think in total between this, the hygrometer, the black ice, and this, I probably got $80 in the whole thing. And then whichever cigars you want to throw in there, and just kind of keep them up like that. Like this thing could legit fit about 2 boxes worth of cigars, but I don't think I'm going to have that many in there. And this is just one of many types of humidors because you got them in all shapes and sizes. Like they make some that are like this high off the ground that you open up like a little safe, and you can keep like 15 or 20 boxes worth of cigars in them. I mean, those are extravagantly expensive. Like we're talking several thousands of dollars, but you can just get as simple or as wild as you want with them. And I prefer to keep mine simple. Um, that's me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it informative. Any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to go hog wild, please do it in the comments. Um, I'll keep posting videos like this every Wednesday, 5 o'clock p.m., and we'll have the podcast at every Friday at 5 p.m. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and comment, and see y'all next time. See you.